We are on the record in case number 2024 TR 617, State of Kansas versus Abel Estrada Jr. Paulie Dean for the state. This is 2024 TR 617. Mr. Abel, you need to start your video and audio. Mr. Abel, you need to start your audio and video so we can have your bench trial.
Here. Hello, here. Hello? Hello?
Mr. Abel, you need to start your audio and video. Sounds like you've started your audio.
Yeah, the video. Start video. Okay.
Okay. All right, Mr. Abel, you are representing yourself today, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Judge, you never approved my order for withdrawal.
Yeah, you set that over for today.
Well, I do have your motion to withdraw. I also have the defendant's pro se motion to dismiss with extreme prejudice, affidavit of true and affidavit of reservation of rights, request for writ of discovery, which he filed November 21st to 24. Mr. Abel, what's going on between you and your attorney? Do you want an attorney or do you not?
I do, but he's not able to defend me because for the interest, I don't know. But he's not defending me. I need an attorney.
You say you need an attorney?
But
I don't know if it's your computer or mine, but I'm having a hard time hearing you, sir.
hello.
Missy, is that his computer or mine?
I hope it's not mine.
He's not sitting close enough to the microphone, Judge.
All right, you need to sit closer to your microphone is what I'm told, sir.
Can you hear me now?
That's great, yes. Now, what's going on with your attorney? Do you want your attorney or not?
I do, but there's some conflict of interest where he said he's not going to represent me.
This case is one of those courtroom sagas that perfectly walks the line between fascinating and absurd. On one side, we have the state of Kansas, calmly trying to conduct a standard traffic proceeding. On the other, we have Abel Estrada Jr., a self-proclaimed sovereign citizen who believes that the laws of Kansas and apparently planet Earth simply don't apply to him. What starts as a simple appearance quickly descends into a legal maze of pseudo-law, YouTube logic, and confusion that even the judge struggles to untangle. His attorney is begging to withdraw. The judge is trying to stay patient. And Estrada, well, he's just trying to argue that his divine rights overrule state law.
Correct. The court has indulged Mr. Abel in that it's appointed him two attorneys now. Two attorneys he sought to have basically present a defense that's contrary to the Kansas Constitution, contrary to the oath that each attorney takes when they're licensed by the state. And additionally, this carries a maximum sentence of 30 days, which would typically not even make him eligible for an attorney, but the court has taken the effort to give him counsel.
Well, and didn't Mr. Estrada, didn't this attorney, William McClendon, represent you when this was brought in initially in city court?
Yes, and it was dismissed. This is why I'm claiming double jeopardy, because I'm going for the same case over again, and this has been dismissed already. Why am I going to court again?
Well, you didn't actually go to trial in the other one. You had a first appearance, as I recall, and then it was dismissed. So you haven't had any jeopardy attached. You You've not had a trial in this.
Well, the supremacy laws says that you cannot be tried or convicted of anything.
I know what they say. All right, well,
Listen to your words, sir. You just stated it. Tried or convicted. The jury was not impaneled. The judge had not begun to take evidence in your city court case. It was dismissed. Jeopardy does not attach until one of those events occurred, and they have not occurred.
well, okay, so Mr. Abel, if you want an attorney, it's going to be William McClendon. If you don't want an attorney, you'll have to either hire one, which it's kind of late for that in the day, or you'll have to represent yourself. So which way do you want to go?
I like to get an attorney, but
Well,
I
I'm not
already,
going to give you continuance for it because you've had this case in municipal court, you've had this case in this court.
Here's where it all starts to unravel. Abel can't decide whether you want a lawyer or not. And that's a red flag right away. In most courts, representing yourself is risky, but allowed. However, vacillating mid-hearing between wanting counsel and rejecting one sets the tone for chaos. What's more, his attorney, clearly done with the back and forth, knows he can't ethically defend arguments based on imaginary constitutional loopholes. This confusion over conflict of interest isn't about ethics. It's about reality colliding with fantasy. The judge knows it. The attorney knows it. Abel, not so much.
I'm going to
Judge, if he's able to draft a motion of such, I don't see why he can't be able to argue it himself.
Well, I'm going to have you stay on board, Mr. McClendon. And Mr. Abel, I have read your motion. Believe it or not, I did read it all. I read about your arguments for the Sixth Amendment right to counsel and your discussion of Attorney Richard Paw having a case conflict. And then you start talking about your commercial and private license plates. You start citing federal law that isn't even applicable here.
how's that?
And you start getting into the U.S. Code. And you start talking about retaliation and coercion and the right to confront witnesses, which I agree you do have, and they are here to testify, as I understand it. But I don't agree with this, what you call lawful private American righteous onto the Lord, the King of glory, and the law of the land of the United States, ex parte Milligan. That isn't even making any sense. You start talking about military courts. This is not a military court. You start talking about being a free person, having the right to travel on the roads. Well, provided by their servants for that purpose. Well, we don't have servants in that sense. People are not servants unless they're hired and appropriate.
This is classic sovereign citizen behavior. They often claim that they're exempt from state laws because they're private citizens or free travelers. It's a script lifted from internet forums rather than law school textbooks. Attorneys like McClendon have seen it all before. Clients demanding arguments that literally defy the Constitution they claim to worship. It's a lose-lose. If the lawyer refuses, he's part of the system. If he agrees, he risks disbarment. Meanwhile, the judge is trying to hold a real proceeding in a room full of imaginary laws.
On foot, using the public highways. You were driving a motor vehicle, according to the allegations. You attached something from a Nora Weisenberg Foreign National Division, and you addressed Governor Pat McCrory out of Raleigh, North Carolina, a 2015 letter with a carbon copy to Deputy Justice Attorney General Loretta Lynch and Secretary of State John Kerry. I don't see that having any relevance or bearing. Then you've got something with a copyright number and a fee schedule with lawful legal notice, as you call it. And you start talking about prohibited actions in 18 U.S.C. 101, 18 U.S.C. 241, and you go down through those. And again, this is not a federal court. And then you start talking about you have fees that the officers must pay before they can do any business with you.
Correct.
And if they refuse to pay your fees, then any business or interaction with them or transaction you say is basically void. And I do not find that that is the law. You have an interesting fee schedule attached. Apparently, to give them your name, you charge $50,000.
Correct.
To give your driver's license number, you charge the officers $50,000. If they want your social security, it's $100,000. If they want a retinal scan, is that $5 million?
That's correct.
Fingerprinting, photographing, $200,000 each. Then DNA and a bunch of that stuff is $5,000, and you go on with like a long list of what you're going to charge them with.
Now Abel pivots to one of the sovereign crowd's greatest hits, Double Jeopardy. The problem? It doesn't apply here. He claims he's already been tried and dismissed, but in legal terms, jeopardy only attaches once a jury is sworn in or evidence is heard. That never happened. The judge explains it clearly, but Abel clings to his misunderstanding like a badge of honor. It's almost poetic, if poetry involves statutes and self-inflicted confusion. The irony? By insisting he knows the law better than everyone else. He keeps proving he doesn't understand it at all.
And you start talking about a Roman court does not operate according to any rule of law, but by presumptions of law. You go on to talk about before a lower Roman court and a private bar guild. You talk about presumptions of public oath to the bar guild. And again, this is not a practice that Kansas uses. So I'm not going to make any rulings in favor of that document.
But it's a violation of my rights, because what you do with 39 CFR subsection 3(9).
Okay, I can't hear you, sir. You're going to have to get in front of the microphone.
I've been in front of the microphone, but what you're saying is a clear violation of my rights, because 49 CFR subsection 3(0).
All right, well, sir, I'm going to stop. I'm going to stop you there. You've argued your point very, very extensively in your written documents. So I've heard your arguments in the written documents. I don't see any basis to them in this case, and I deny all of your motions and arguments. I note your objection for the record, so you can appeal if you wish, sir. But as judge in this case, I'm denying your motions. And we're going to proceed with your bench trial on a factual basis.
Yeah, but under what law are you basing this? What law? Because you're violating the
Under
law.
the Kansas laws. And if you don't know the Kansas laws, that's what you have an attorney for. He knows the Kansas laws. So we're going to proceed. We're going to proceed, sir. You need to restrain yourself a little bit. We have an orderly process we go through. Mr. Dean, are you ready to proceed?
State's ready, Your Honor.
All right, please call your first witness. And for the record, we are looking at a bench trial on the charge of vehicle display of a license plate. There's an argument. Okay. Yes, sir? Briefly?
The Supremacy Clause, Article 6 of the Constitution, is saying that the law of the land, the supreme law of the land, is the Constitution.
All right,
I
well,
have-
I'm denying your motion, sir, and you need to, if you're gonna participate in this hearing, you have.
Here's where the case really crystallizes. Abel's entire legal strategy isn't built on precedent. It's built on belief. He's filed mountains of paperwork citing divine rights, lawful persons, and other buzzwords that sound impressive but hold zero weight in actual court. The prosecutor calls it out perfectly. No one is exempt from law just because they declare themselves sovereign. It's a clash between logic and ideology, where Abel sees tyranny, but the court sees traffic violations. This isn't oppression. It's accountability, and he's not winning that argument today.
Since June of 2023 at this agency.
And how long have you say at this agency, have you worked at other law enforcement agencies prior to your employment with Greenwood County?
Yes, sir. I have a grand total of 15 years in law enforcement.
And is that the same amount of time that you've been a certified law enforcement officer?
Yes, sir.
And back on August 21st of 2024, what were your duties on that day, sir?
On that day, I was just assigned to general patrol and any service calls or accidents that came up.
And were you patrolling the city of Eureka in Greenwood County, Kansas on that day and time?
Yes, sir.
And was there anything on that date that caught your attention as odd?
Yes, sir, there was.
And what was that?
While I was southbound on Main Street, I stopped at the stoplight and I noticed the vehicle in front of me had a very unusual registration on their vehicle.
And what was unusual about that registration?
Well, in 15 years of law enforcement, while I understand things change with license plates, I had never seen this license plate before. What also became very apparent to me as odd was the fact that it had a Kansas label on it as well as a US DOT.
I'll show you what I marked as State's Exhibit number 1. I believe you have the possession of this at the Sheriff's Department, correct?
I do, sir. It's right here.
And that's a license plate that you removed from this vehicle, preserved for evidence for today. Is that correct?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And does this appear to be an accurate picture and representation of the plate that you observed while you were on routine traffic patrol back
Yes,
on
sir.
August 21st, 2024?
Yes, sir.
And that's what you're referencing of Kansas and US DOT, not appearing to be something that you would normally see as far as the layout of a license plate.
Correct.
Is private something you generally see on a license plate?
Not a plate that has ever been issued, to the best of my knowledge, by the state of Kansas or any other state.
Did you attempt to run this license plate before initiate or while you were investigating this matter?
I did.
And what, if any, information was dispatch able to provide to you?
There was no information. We could not get a what we call a return or a return from the state with all of the vehicle information.
Kansas.
This might be my favorite courtroom moment. The judge delivers a calm, logical breakdown. If you didn't build the roads, you don't make the rules. Simple, clear, irrefutable. Yet somehow, Abel's $50,000 name fee and $5 million retina scan policy enter the conversation. It's surreal comedy dressed in legalese. You can practically hear the judge thinking, is this real life? At this point, the courtroom is less about justice and more about watching patients personified, because most judges would have lost at 5 motions ago.
Hearing no objection, states 1 is admitted.
I didn't say anything. I'm trying to speak.
You didn't say anything. That's what I said. But since you didn't announce an objection, I thought you didn't have one.
I do, but I'm trying to speak, but you can't hear me. Anyways, my objection to this is I am completely lawful and I'm following the law of the United States. And I have 2 plates. I have the commercial plates and I have my private plates. I violated no law by that.
All right. Well, your objection is noted and it's overruled and we will proceed.
And just to clarify, Deputy Hanson, that was the plate, the only plate that was being displayed on the vehicle that you were observing, correct?
Yes, sir.
After viewing that and having dispatch run the numbers and nothing coming back, what did you then do?
For a short time, I had to disengage from the vehicle. We had another 911 call. I was later able to find the same vehicle and observe a traffic violation as he was leaving the city of Eureka, at which time I initiated a traffic stop.
And was that on East River Street?
The traffic violation was on East River, like a block inside the city limits. So by the time we actually came to a stop, we were in rural Greenwood County.
And what was the traffic infraction that you observed at that time prior to the stop?
Illegal usage of a lane or illegal lane change. He was in a right-hand turning lane and failed to signal moving left into the appropriate lane, leaving the city of Eureka.
So after making that observation, I think you were starting to say, perhaps you already said you started the traffic stop, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And did you make contact with the driver?
I did.
And do you see that driver with us here today?
I do, sir.
And where is he?
He is the man wearing glasses listed as Abel E.
Your Honor, to ask the record to reflect that the officer has identified the defendant.
The record shall so reflect.
Were you able to identify Mr. Abel, who you've identified as Abel E, when you contacted him for any type of identification?
I did, sir.
And what did he provide you?
Upon initial contact, he provided me with his valid Kansas driver's license.
This fee schedule is sovereign citizen folklore at its peak. The idea is that officers of the government owe them thousands or millions for enforcing the law. It's pure fiction, but it's presented with such confidence that it almost sounds official. Judges have seen hundreds of these documents filled with elaborate fonts, seals, and Bible verses, but none of it changes the outcome. The law doesn't bend to self-created invoices. If anything, it shows how deep the delusion runs, believing bureaucracy can be defeated with paperwork and wishful
Feeling that at some point a supervisor would be requested by Mr. Estrada, I went ahead and requested a supervisor. And then I went back and ran the vehicle's VIN number through my in-car terminal, and I was able to get actually what the vehicle was.
And this was a 2011 GMC Acadia, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And in regards to the, did he make any statements to you in regards to why he was displaying this tag?
Because he said he was driving in the private, he was not driving commercially. He did not need a commercial license plate. That, according to him, the plate that was displayed was perfectly legal and lawful.
And he had to indicate he was returning or had returned the Kansas registration plate.
He said he was getting ready to, and he actually held up the envelope that he had packaged up and ready to drop in the mail. The standard Kansas license plate, he was going to mail it back to Topeka.
Did he make a statement that he was a free national and that's why he was going to use his own private plate?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Mr. Abel, we probably ought to clear this up. I did not let Mr. McClendon off the hook, but are you going to use him as your primary counsel, or do you want to represent yourself? Because I can keep him back here in case you need him and let you proceed, but I need you to tell me whether you're going to let him represent you and take the lead on this, or if you're going to stay in charge of it.
Well, I like to get him to represent me, but none of the people that I put in there, he wasn't represent. Secondly, you guys are violating my rights because this officer is literally lying on the stand, because I presented all my documents, and just because he never seen it doesn't mean that it's not real. And also, it's from the DOT. it was assigned to me from the DOT as a private citizen, and you never let me read the law. 49 CFR.
And there you have it, a courtroom clash that perfectly sums up the sovereign citizen phenomenon. Abel Estrada didn't just lose a legal argument. He lost the plot somewhere between constitutional exemption and fee schedule fantasy. The judge handled it with patience and clarity, reminding everyone watching that logic, law, and evidence, not ideology, decide cases. These hearings may seem funny, but they highlight the growing tension between personal belief and legal reality. If you found this case as jaw-dropping as we did, hit that like button, drop your thoughts in the comments, and subscribe for more wild courtroom breakdowns.